everyone, welcome back to Studio 33 Art by Kay. Those of you who have watched my most recent videos will know I'm trying to recreate the vintage car colours that are the yellowy sort of colour, which I found this Naples yellow in the Mont Dimensions paints. And now I've got this Carmine, which I'm thinking is pretty close. Unfortunately, this is very thin. When I mixed up the paint, I didn't realise how little I had, and I put too much Floetrol into it, so it's very thin, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm going to do a bloom with it today, so I'm going to also just use a little bit of the Mont pouring paint gold, which you know is my favourite gold, and a base. I'm just going to do, the base will be the Eraldo di Paolo white mixed with Australian Floetrol, but I've made it a little bit thicker to create like a pillow. So it's leaving, I don't think you can quite see, more of a mound on a mound. It's just a little bit thicker than what I normally mix my paints. And because I don't use house paint at all, I just mix up thicker acrylics. And I'm just going to use the Amsterdam Oxide Black mixed with Australian Floetrol as a cell activator. And I mixed that up approximately 1 part paint to 4 parts Floetrol. And I will put all these colours in the description below. But I basically just mixed that so that when I let it drizzle back in, you can see that. When I count to 4, it then bounces back onto the stick. So that's basically what I've got. So I'm just going to put this little puddle in the middle of my tile here. As you can see, it's a bit thicker, trying to duplicate using house paint as a bit of a pillow there. And that will then go to the edges. I do like to sort of just put a little bit on the edge there as well, just to encourage the paint to get to the edge. And when I do the spin out, just like that. And just run a little bit along the edges there, just so that the paint will stick on there. It's not perfect, but it just, as I say, gives it something to hang on to. Right, that is enough of that. So I'm just going to hit this with the heat embossing tool just to burst any little bubbles. I still see a couple of stubborn ones there, so I'll just pop them with a skewer here. Sometimes they don't want to burst. And you want to burst them if you can, because otherwise they can make little spots in your finished product as it dries. Right, so now I'm just going to do the Naples yellow on the bottom. I'm really liking these little bottles that I've got recently, actually off, I think it was maybe Amazon, I'm not sure. They don't have the normal wind-up ones like these ones. You just actually unscrew the top, so it does stay on very securely, but you just unscrew it. And the little end is really, really good for pouring your paint out, so I'm really liking those. So I'm just going to put the Naples yellow in a little puddle, like that. Followed by the Mont Dimensions Carmine, which, as I say, is very thin, unfortunately. Now the Naples yellow is opaque, which is the main reason I put it on the bottom, and the Carmine's semi-transparent. If I'd done it the other way round, the Naples yellow would have probably cancelled out the Carmine by virtue of the fact that it would have just, because it's such a solid colour, it would have just covered over it. So now I'm just putting a little bit of the Mont pouring paint gold, which I know always sells up beautifully, and get rid of that little bubble there. And that's the very reason why a lot of people use one of these butane torches, because it wouldn't have moved the paint. It would have just burst the bubbles without moving the paint. So now, just add a little cell activator into the middle there. You can spread that around or just have it in the middle, it's up to you. Just one of those things to experiment with. And now you can either blow that out by mouth, use a straw, or you can use the hairdryer, up to you. So I'm just going to lift that up and blow it out by mouth. So it won't be a moment. Sorry, I'll be off the screen for a sec. Okay, lots of pretty little cells coming up there. I can see the Naples yellow coming up from under there. Only in that one spot though. Would have thought more would have come up. So I want a little bit more in there, so I'm just going to put a little bit more of the Naples yellow in. If I take the top off, it would help. And you can do this. This is what I call a bloom on top of a bloom. When you put, you blow out the bottom part and then you put more of another bloom on top. So just don't want it to be completely like that. So I'll just put a tiny bit of red on there, or Carmine, tiny bit of gold, tiny bit of cell activator. And I'll just use the straw to blow that one out. Okay. That's actually, because this is blown quite deeply down, it's actually brought some of the white base up, but that's okay. Alrighty, so now I'll just do a little rec through this, just draw in some shape. So never think that when you've done something that you have to sort of live with the colours that are just there. If you want to add a bit more colour, you can. It's up to you. As Julie Cube always says, your art room, your rules. Gee, those colours look pretty together. Now the question is, do I do a bit of modification before I spin that out a little bit, or do I leave it and then do some modification? Just might do a tiny bit just there. You see that Carmine is actually, because it's so thin, I can feel when I'm running the skewer through it that it's a bit too thin. It would have been nicer if it had been thicker. I'll have to get some more of that and try those colours together again, because I think they are very close to those vintage colours, and they did, yeah, they look really nice together with the gold and that bit of black and the white base. Okay, so now I'm just going to spin. Oh, so pretty. I don't think I want to spin it out much more than that. I quite like that little bit of negative space on the corners there. And it's got some beautiful veins coming on here. I call those veins. They're not cells, and I don't think it's lacing to me. It's what I call veining. A few cells here, but more veining than anything. It's really pretty. Now, instead of doing the spiral there, I'm just going to do a little finger pop. Do a thumb pop, actually. Right, and that's really nice forming there. I'll just hit that with the heat embossing tool just to encourage any more cells that might want to pop through here. Now you can see when I hit that with the heat tool then, it caused a lot of cells, or not a lot of cells, a lot of little bubbles, air bubbles in there to pop, and it's created these little spots, which I really don't like. So the way to get rid of those is you just take your bamboo skewer and just gently touch them. And like that, they are gone. Because otherwise it really spoils the look, I think. You know, some people might like it, but I don't particularly. So I'd really like to try this one again, but with the Carmine thicker. Not that it's not nice. Okay, so there you have it, guys. I think that's really pretty. I love it, actually. Should I do any modification here or just leave it? I think I'll leave it. I think I will leave it. I think it's got enough differentiation there between the petals to get away with that. So I shall now bring you down for a close-up. Okay, so here we are coming down for a close-up of this piece that I was doing to try out the colours that I thought would be similar to a vintage car, and they seem to have worked out quite well with the Mont Dimensions Naples Yellow and also the Carmine, and just a bit of gold and black cell activator then, and a bit of the negative space, which was the white. So you can see there's a lot of beautiful veining going on there, which was really nice, and some nice cells in here. So it's more about the colour actually that I was going for. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that colour combos. Alrighty, so hopefully you enjoyed that one today, guys, and I'll see you back here in Studio 33 in the not too distant future. Until then, stay safe. Bye bye.